Alright. What's up, everybody? Let me see. Make sure that I this is actually working. One of these days, I will be able to do both of these at the same time. So I don't want to waste your time here, or mine. So let me just make sure that this is actually going, and then we will get started. Let's see here. All right. Wonderful. So, if you are watching, tuning in, whatever, just go ahead, say hi, say where you're watching from. I did not do a really good job of emailing and inviting all of you like I normally do. So, sorry about that. It's been a little bit crazy. The good news is I just hired someone to help me. So, it's going to be a lot more organized going forward. Okay. So, and then if you have any questions, I can see them pop up. I probably won't be able to answer right away, but I will go through them all at the end. If you're watching this as a replay, go ahead and type out hashtag replay, and I will go ahead and check into all those later. That way I can answer your questions whenever they come in. So let me go. This is the first time I'm actually presenting from this. This is the one that I do my show with. So just have a little bit of grace for me as I share my screen with you. Okay. We will see how this goes. All right. Let me just double check here. If you can see the actual title of this, can you type in the comments that you can see it? Because I can't quite tell from my phone yet. So if you can see that. Hey, Deborah, you're actually watching live. So thanks for being here. Hopefully, you guys, let's see. Okay, perfect. I think it's working. Awesome. I'm just going to let one more person in because they just asked to get in here. So let's get Zena in here. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about just the mindset, but also some tools and tricks that you can put into place to get your content planning finally done and like a manageable task for you in 2024, right? I think a lot of times when people hear content planning, they it's something that everyone wants to do, but it feels very overwhelming. And I'm going to go through a few ways for you to really make this easy on yourself to show you that you have all this content at your fingertips. Just a matter of knowing how to organizing it. Stop thinking about it, stop wondering how you're going to do it, and just getting it done, right? So that's kind of like the main goal here. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm always interested where everyone is watching from. All right. So the importance of content. This is a quote I really love, right? And take a picture of it, keep it in your mind. It says these days people want to learn before they buy, be educated instead of pitched. And that's a really good thing to keep in mind as you are creating content, right? Because a lot of times in our regular, maybe real estate sales trainings and marketings, we've been taught sell, pitch, ask for the sale. All that is important and all of that has its place, right? But if any of you tuned in yesterday for my meeting with Davis, we were talking about how you can use online world, this digital world, to build this relationship over time, and that way you are continually top of mind. Because when you ask for the sale and you do the pitch and all that stuff, all that works if the person is ready right then. But homeownership isn't something that we can just snap our fingers and be ready for, right? So it's important to use your marketing to build these relationships and to stay top of mind. That way, when they are ready, then they'll come to you, you can ask for the sale, and you're good to go. But if not, if you're just asking for the sale when someone's ready, you're missing out on a lot of people, right? So they want to be educated, they want to build a relationship, they want to learn something from you. The little cycle I like to use always is relevance, relationships, ROI. Picture like kind of a circle. I know I did it in that way, but the circles are prettier, right? So relevant content is, what does your audience care about? What should they care about? And here's a good example, right? And I know you've heard this before. There's nothing wrong with saying just listed, just sold, right? Those are not necessarily for our audience, they're for us. Yes, they build some sort of social proof. It shows that you know what you're doing, that you know how to close, that you're getting business. But in reality, when you think about, is this relevant to my audience? It's usually not. Maybe if they're just on the cusp of buying and selling, yes. But aside from that, nobody cares, right? So the bulk of your content should be relevant to what your audience interests are, their pains, their desires, their things that they want to learn, their wants, their needs, all of that, right? That is relevant content. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how you know what content should be relevant to your audience and how you can create that. From there, that's how you build a relationship, right? So once you are giving them relevant content and it is speaking to them, that's how you build a relationship, right? So, for example, I use this analogy a lot, but when you are maybe going out with someone on a date, right? Let's say this person is a doctor. They talk about them being a doctor and all that stuff. And it's cool. It's cool for a date or two. But if none of that ends up being relevant for you after a while, if that's all there is, if it's a one-dimensional piece of information, a one-dimensional person, you're never going to be able to build a relationship with that person. You're never going to be able to establish trust. And it's just going to stay where it is, right? A one-dimensional relationship. So what you want to do is use that relevant content to create a relationship with these people, to build trust, for them to feel like they know you. And a lot of times we, as the person marketing, don't really feel like we know that person, right? Just like if you're following the Kardashians, if you're following J Lo or any of these people, right? You may feel like you know everything about what's going on in their world, but they don't know anything about you. But that's fine. You are still building trust in their brands, right? For whatever it delivers to you. So think of it that way. Don't feel like you're missing out because you don't have a relationship with them. It's really they're supposed to be building the relationship with you. From there, that is where you get your return on investment. So once you build trust, that is when you start being top of mind. They trust you as a person. They trust the way you work. They trust that you know how to do real estate and do it well. And that's where you see the return on investment for your content. So let me just double check if there are any questions. Okay. Oh yes, the replay will be here. Don't worry. This video will just stay on, so you can catch it anytime. All right. So when we talk about relevant content, first we want to talk about who is your audience, right? So maybe you already have a niche that you like to work with or certain kind of specialty in real estate. Here's a quote I love about this. It says, actually talk to your customers, use the language that they use, talk about the things they talk about. And this is my favorite part: never feed salad to a lion. Right. So this is why it's really important to have a laser targeted view of who is your audience, because first time homebuyers, you're going to speak to them differently than you would a luxury home buyer. And that's not an insult, because you're going to talk to first time homebuyers the way you wouldn't talk to luxury home buyers. You're going to talk to millennials differently than you're going to talk to the 55 plus community. And yes, we will sell to all of them. And that is what we are supposed to do. We are not breaking fair housing. But when you market to everyone, you market to no one. So it's really important to kind of build your content around a group of people or a kind of transaction that you like to do and that you want to make your specialty, because your marketing becomes laser focused, right? And it actually becomes much easier when you have fewer options, right? That's number one. And number two, you begin to be known for something, right? So instead of someone just coming to you, or you just kind of hoping someone's going to throw a target at the wall and hope they hit you, now you're going to be known. Oh, this girl, she knows 55 plus communities. This girl, she is the person to go to for first time home buyers, right? So it's really important. If I could tell you anything, second in importance to getting on video this year is having this niche and marketing directly to them. So a chat GPT prompt you can use, and you can go ahead and take a picture of this, is, I'm a real estate agent in this city, put whatever city or town you work in, and my niche is homeowners who are empty nesters and considering downsizing. Please write an audience demographic report helping me understand their interests, wants, needs, and pain points when it comes to real estate and living in your city. Let me see if I gave you, okay, yeah. So this is an example. This is just a small part of it, but you'll see that ChatGPT is going to give you this, right? It's going to give you some information about their interests, about the community, right? So proximity to community centers, healthcare facilities, and other amenities, right? They may prefer neighborhoods that offer a sense of community and easy access to daily needs. That is different a lot of times than what young families might need, right? A lot of times young families, they may want to be, they don't mind being out in the suburbs because they're driving all around the place. They would rather go after good schools. And they sometimes, maybe they want land, maybe they want a neighborhood with pools and stuff. So it's just the needs and interests are different. So when you're talking to a young family about a neighborhood with amenities and healthcare facilities, you're feeding salad to a lion, right? And that's exactly what we're talking about. So it'll list out their wants, their needs. It'll even show you pain points, right? So, for example, some people in the 55 plus age group, they may be looking to move into a 55 plus community, right? There are amenities, there's lots of activities for them, but some of these have restrictions on, can you have grandkids over? How long can they stay? And that might be a big deal to a 55 plus couple who maybe they really want to have their grandkids over for the summer, right? So when it goes into their fears and their wishes and all that, it's going to list out that whole thing. And now what you do is now you create content around those, all of those things, right? So your goal, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, but your goals should be to educate, entertain, inspire, and then of course sell, make the sale, right? But those first three is really how you stay top of mind and you start building a relationship with them. So education, I don't have the stat on me, and I'm sorry, but one of the top I think it was like 68% of people who watch videos, they watch educational videos, right? So people think when they're on Instagram, when they're on YouTube, when they're on TikTok, that they're there to do a dance and make funny videos. And that's fine. Those work great. But I always say entertainment attracts and education converts, right? So if you know that 68% of people are coming to watch videos about education or to be educated, you better go ahead and educate them, right? Look, in North Carolina, our buyer's contract is about 17 pages long. There is a plethora of videos that you can make just from that contract on different little things inside that contract. You can make a series about all about the North Carolina contract. That right there, that's 30 days worth of content, right? So there is so much in your day to day. Even if you have just gone out of real estate school, there's so much you can still educate your audience on, right? So there's really no excuse for the education aspect of this, right? Entertainment is, yes, it can be the funny ones. Yes, it can be the lip syncing. I'm all for it, right? But if you don't feel like you are the kind of person that communicates with humor, entertainment is also just showing them the behind the scenes of what you're doing, where you're going, day in the life, preparing closing gifts, just doing these behind the scenes. Like I hate to always use this example, right? But think of the Kardashians, right? How they have built an empire off of people watching them do the most mundane things, right? So that's all entertainment is. It's showing someone something that they wouldn't see in their normal day. We have really interesting jobs, right? We are doing something different every day. We're going different places every day. All of that is content, right? And I said this in I don't remember if it was a online or in-person class, but um, one of the top, well, the top video, short form video trends of all of 2023 was a get ready with me video. So those are all those videos where the girls, and they're not all young. I saw one of a 90 something year old lady saying, get ready with me to, I'm going to pre-plan my funeral, right? And she was there and she was putting on lipstick and she was doing her hair and she was talking about what she was going to do. That is entertainment. And it's just putting your camera up while you're getting ready to do something, right? Because and the psychology behind that is people will watch anything from start to finish. They almost can't help themselves. It's just it's psychology driven fact, right? So the way you can apply it is you can say, hey, get ready to prep this listing with me. And you can take a compilation of you filling out your listing agreement, getting it signed, putting your sign in the ground, setting up some balloons, setting up your open house, anything that's from start to finish, and you could create a video out of that. That is really good entertainment. And you don't even have to be face to face with the video for the most part, right? So that's entertainment. Inspire is really showing them something that they can accomplish or that they can achieve or that they can capture in and out of real estate, right? So we want to focus on two things with this. Inspiration is, hey, what if I told you in 2024 you can buy this new construction home with this much down? What if I told you that at the end of 2024 this will be you in this house, right? But inspiration can also be, hey, this Charlotte is having a Winterfest free for families, and you're inspiring them with family time, right? Or, hey, go with your girlfriends. Here's 5 great restaurants for girls' night out, right? You're inspiring them with that experience, right? So that's all inspiration is. The more you use all of these, the easier it's going to become for you to put them in these buckets. And then selling, of course, is simply asking for the sale. It's asking them to schedule a buyer or seller consultation. It's asking them to give them their email address in exchange for a freebie or something like that. So that's what sales is. I'm a marketer. I'm not great at sales, but obviously that's going to be an important aspect of your sale. But all these other things will get you to that spot. So for Move, let me just check. Oh, yes. Yes, the replay will be in here. Just come back in about half an hour and you will see it. It's going to be live in here. Watch anytime. All right. So when we talk about kind of scheduling this in your week, what I like to do, and I won't say I'm perfect at it because I drop the ball sometimes, but in a perfect world, once a week, sit down for 30 minutes. Whatever is your chill day of the week, it's usually not a weekend for realtors, right? But if your slower day is Tuesday or Wednesday, sit down and plan out your content, whether it be for the next week or the next 30 days, right? And here's one thing I like to do. Of course, use future planning in a way of like, hey, look at all these content buckets, look at things you can talk about. But the other thing that's really important in here is to look back on what has happened in the last week in 2 ways. One, you're going to look back at the content you already created. All right. What went well, what didn't. I just did this on my Instagram account last night. I was looking, hey, whoa, this video I didn't think was going to do so great. 50,000 views. I'm going to make literally the same video. It's going to have a different screen behind it, and I'm going to be wearing something different, but it's going to be the same exact video and text because that did really well. I'm going to repeat it again. So look at what works and what doesn't. There were some videos of mine that flopped, right? So I'm not going to do those again. So that's really insightful to use your analytics to see what you can do. If you don't yet have analytics, go and look at some competitors or some other agents that are really killing it on social media and, use their videos on what's working for them as inspiration and recreate your own. The other thing is, yes, go and decide, hey, what can I do for education? What can I fit into entertainment? What can I fit into inspiration, right? And I'm going to show you one thing at the end. So stick around that's kind of going to make it easy for you. So actually, it's not at the end, it's right here. I guess I added this slide in. Okay, content calendars, right? So this was going to help you set up your day. A ChatGPT prompt can say, I am a whatever you are, real estate agent working in this area. My ideal audience is whatever you chose that ideal audience. And below, I'm including some of their common wants, needs, and pain points when it comes to buying and selling homes. Please develop a 30-day content calendar for whatever platform you're going to use, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and put it in table format, including suggested post timing and caption ideas. Right? So we already have that audience demographic report that ChatGPT created. So this would be your next step. And so this is what it gives you. And I've also had it do hashtags for me or whatever. But anyway, look, you have 30 days. You have it right in front of you. So literally you can leave this workshop right here, spend 20 minutes on this, and you will have the next 30 days of content lined out for yourself, right? You can even tell it, I want to create videos. I want them to be posed. You can tell it the style. But basically look at all this that you have. You can also, not to go too into the weeds on this, but like let's say they have one called mortgage basics and you don't feel really comfortable with that, you can do one or two things there. One, you can tell ChatGPT, please recreate this, but just please take out the mortgage related stuff because I don't feel comfortable talking about that. And it'll fill it with something else. Or for maximum impact, you can partner with whoever is your preferred lender and do a video together, right? Or, a post. I guess you can collaborate on a post together. The reason that's so powerful is now you are, you're kind of getting over your fear by partnering with someone else also, but you are able now to tap into that person's audience. So who's ever following them, now they're seeing your face, and the same goes for your lender. You can tap into each other's audiences. So collaborations can actually be really powerful with that. So there would be a calendar. So literally, there's no reason by the end of today that you cannot have 30 days done, at least some 30 days of ideas. So before I move on, let me see. Okay. All right, cool. No questions yet. So content planning made easy, right? Like I said, this should not be overwhelming. You do not and should not have to reinvent the wheel. So here's some of the tips that you can use that make it easier. You can use weekly themes. So for example, you can say, hey, next week I'm going to be talking about all the different ways that you can get some seller concessions to buy a home this year. Maybe five new home neighborhoods or five different loan programs or whatever it is. Now you've taken this whole bulk of global ideas of content and you've shimmy them down to just this tiny little thing, which actually makes your choices for the content so much easier. I promise, right? It's also good for your audience because now they know what you're talking about, and you can say, hey, today's day one of me talking about new home communities that have down payment programs this week, or I'm sorry, that have some really good seller concessions this week or end of year deals. Come back tomorrow for day two. So now these people now they want to see the next one. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm 41 years old. So back in the day, remember when an episode would end and we would have to wait until the next week to see the next one? You couldn't binge anything. So that actually creates bingeable content. And even not just that week, but moving forward, if someone comes across your content, now you've created like a bingeable list for them to look at. So I really love it. Sit down also and just brainstorm content ideas. I keep a running note in my phone because my mind is always running, right? I'm a marketer. So as these ideas come to me, as experiences come to you, as you go throughout your day and like, oh man, this would make a great piece of content, write them down in your notes. The more you make that a habit, the easier you're going to start seeing content everywhere. I promise, right? So brainstorm them as you go. And then, so when you leave today, what you can do is you can brainstorm, besides the chat GPT thing, right? You can brainstorm 4 weekly themes, right? And it should be easy, right? So for example, let's say one is going to be the new construction incentives. One is going to be selling home in the winter. One is going to be all the, free events going on in your area, right? And number four is going to be the best places to invest in your area. Let's just say. So it's 4 weeks of content. Now each of those can be broken up into 7 days, and which is going to be easy, I promise. Once you do that, there you go. You have 28 days of content. You didn't even need chat GPT for it, right? So believe me when I say content is everywhere. You can even do that and just paste them into the notes on your phone. That way, one day when you're running around and you're like, oh, I don't know what to freaking post today. Now you have something on your phone and you can just write about it. You can create a quick video, whatever it is. Okay. So it should be easy, and maybe not when you first get started, but the big thing with content planning is it's a huge wall to climb. And then the other side, it's, it's cake, right? But you got to get over it's just a mindset thing to get over that hump. All right. Content creation tips. So you want to keep your content authentic and relatable. Don't post about things that you're not interested in. For example, I probably wouldn't do a whole week of, I mean, I might do a week of best places to invest in my city, but I'm not going to do a whole week of best investment opportunities and show houses that are, falling apart and everything like that. I'm scared of bugs and vermin, and I don't want to walk into these houses. I don't know really much about what investors would look for and cap rates and all that stuff. It's just not my cup of tea, right? Which is good because I'm going to be talking to one audience and it's not investors. So keep it authentic, make sure it's you. Don't post about best places for crafting in your city, because if you're not into crafting, it's going to really feel like trudging through mud to get that content up, right? I know Kim Drakulich, I don't know if she's here, but she was on our show about TikTok, and she talked about someone who just highlighted all these different restaurants in his area because he's a foodie, right? So that's authentic. It's relatable. People can really see the excitement on his face when he's going and checking out all these new places, right? So use visuals, photos, videos, graphics. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Videos, you gotta get on video this year, I promise. Let me tell you, for my business where I have clients and stuff, realtors who are marketing clients, I have now decided, I'm actually on a waiting list for clients, but I've decided that the next people that I take in February, I am not going to take on any clients who are not going to commit to a certain amount of video, even if it's providing it to me and I edit. And the reason for that is I feel like it's getting harder and harder to see results without video. So if I am giving them money just because that's how much I believe in video, then take it for what it's worth. I really believe you got to get on video this year. All right. So get on video as much as you can, but of course you can pad that with photos. Carousels, which are on Instagram, are like the swipeable ones and all that stuff, right? And then, like I said earlier, collaborate as much as you can. Do guest posts. This can be people inside the industry. So, your lensers, home inspectors, construction guys, interior designers, vendors. There's countless people, and they're always willing to collaborate with you because it helps their business as well, right? So, do that. But also with people in your community, local business owners, maybe chamber of commerce people. All those people are usually really open to doing that with you. What's a post? So besides all the stuff we talked about, but your experiences, you have so many. Even like I said, if you have just come out of real estate school, you have the whole real estate school experience. Your knowledge is probably fresher than ours, right? So post about those, all these things that we see day in and day out. The craziest house you've been in, the saddest story you've ever dealt with, the most heartwarming one. These are the ones that are memorable to people, right? So use storytelling as much as you can, because if you've been in this industry any length of time, you have stories, right? So tell them. Look at what your colleagues and competitors are doing. Like I said, look at what's working on different people's Facebooks, YouTubes, Instagram, TikToks. What are they talking about? What is seems to be resonating with their audience? And then go ahead and make it your own, right? I always, and this is another reason video is so important, but people can copy you, people can never be you, right? So people can copy your content and all that stuff, but they can't be Sarah, they can't be Jane or Michael or whatever, right? So that's why video is so important. Me and Jane Doe can literally both be talking about home inspections and it'll come out completely different because they're two different people, and that's why video is so powerful, right? But check what they're doing, that's data right there, and then use that in your strategy. And then, of course, data sites like answerthepublic.com, keywords everywhere. Those are my favorite. Answer the Public, I believe they give you down to one free search a day, but it's fine. One free search will give you about 90 results. So put in something like buying a home in Charlotte or wherever you live, and it'll give you all these different ways people are searching. That's powerful for two reasons. One, now you already know what people want to know, and you can create content. You don't have to guess, right? You don't have to guess what they're going to engage with, what they want to know. You already know how they're searching. And then number two is you can use the exact way they're searching as your title, and that's really good for your keywords, getting found, and everything like that. So that's a really good one. I always use this example, but when I put in selling a house in Charlotte, out of 5, the top 3 were some variation of selling your home without a realtor. People want to know that, but they are almost certainly not going to ask you about it, right? So what I would do, I go on there and say, "Hey guys, here are the pros and cons about selling your house without a realtor." Or you can even title it "How to Sell Your House Without a Realtor," right? And don't come from that scarcity mindset on this. Just tell them the numbers, right? Hey, I get it that on a $500,000 house, 6% is $40,000. I get it. I want to say $40,000 too. But let's break it down, right? And then you can tell them if you sell it on your own, most likely you're going to pay a buyer's agent. That shaves your savings in half. And then, you can tell them all these things about what the NAR data says about when they sell. You can talk about how buyer or seller commissions are negotiable, whatever makes sense for your business. But do not be afraid to broach this subject because people want to know. And then we would talk about promotion engagement, create for one platform, right? You can post on different platforms, but create for one platform. So, for example, if I'm doing a video and my platform is Instagram. Instagram videos, they can be posted on Facebook, they come up as reels, but they're not optimized for Facebook. In the same manner that if I'm creating for Facebook, Facebook posts aren't optimized for Instagram, right? So pick one that you love, that your audience is on, that you like using, create for that. You can always share to the other, but you want your strategy to be really focused on one platform. That way you can learn it. You can learn it well. You can do well at it. And then when it's really grabbing you leads and it's kind of popping off, then you can move on to the next, right? So when people always ask me, which one should I start? It really doesn't matter. Just go where you feel like you are going to post, right? Where you're going to be, where you're going to post, where you want to be. Everything else will work out. Like I said, you could share the content, have meaningful and regular engagement with your audience. I really love the ideas of Q&A sessions, going live, responding to these comments. All of these are really great for building trust. And then, like I said, measure your success. At least every 30 days, look back at your analytics and to see what worked, what flopped. You were never going to know by just thinking about posting. You're only going to know what works by posting, right? So you have to be really intentional about this because even for me, I want to really go hard on Instagram video. I probably thought about it for a year and saved everyone else's posts and had all these ideas. I never actually did it. I was always getting ready to get ready. I would never have learned the things I learned if I didn't just do it, right? And now my Instagram account is at, in less than 6 months or 7 months is at, around 14,000, 13,500 followers. And it's really engaged, right? I would have never known what that would take if I was still here thinking about it and, trying to craft the perfect content. So be really good at that. And then you can use scheduling tools like Meta Creator Studio is free. That's with Facebook and Instagram. Planoly later. You can use Loomly, or you can just not schedule. So if you're a more off the cuff type of person, which is kind of how I am, don't listen to the gurus that say you have to schedule. Scheduling is great if you want to do a bunch and you don't want to think about it later. All right. So that's really good. If you want this whole content bundle I created, you can scan this QR code, use this code 40% off. It has 365 days of video focused content. But what I like the best about it actually is it has 160 viral hooks for your videos and about 90 something calls to action. So if you are going to get on video this year, which you must, this kind of has everything you need. Almost every single prompt in those calendars you'll see here it can be something you can create video around, right? So you really have no excuse. All right. So let me see and see if there are any other questions here. Do any of you have questions? Let me stop sharing this. All right. Does anyone here that is watching have any questions? If so, speak now, or if you have some ideas. If you are planning to get on video this year, type video in the comment because I'm going to go and check. I'm going to be on you. If not, I will let you guys go. I appreciate you guys all coming out. You will just kind of come back to this page later if you want to check the replay. I'll email it out to everyone as well, but it will be here for you to watch later. And I hope you have a ton of success in 2024. I will be here watching you, cheering you on as always. I hope you guys have a great day.